Bravestarr. In a distant time and faraway place, the planet of New Texas floats deep.
Hi YouTubers, this is Alex from Lex's Toy Loft. I'm coming at you with another toy review. Today is Bravestarr and 3030. Please subscribe to our channel, check out our eBay store, and we're also on Instagram, Lex's Toy Loft 12. The two toys we're going to be looking at today are 3030 and Marshall Bravestarr. 3030, if you collect Bravestarr, you'll know it to be a pretty hard toy to get, very expensive and really difficult to find complete. Really beautiful toy. You can see they go together really well and they do look fantastic. But here we go. So first of all, we're just going to talk about the horse tack that is worn by 3030. You've got the headgear, you've got the stirrups, you've got the reins, and you've got the saddle. I'm not a horse expert, so excuse me if I don't quite get the lingo, but hopefully you'll get the idea. So first of all, we'll talk about the head harness. As you can see, it's a bit more futuristic. I've removed it slightly from his head so you can see how well it moulds onto his head. If I give it a little push, you can see it just clips on there really perfectly, so it's really well moulded. At the top he's got like an aerial, and then on the mouth he's got like a microphone piece, so I guess he can communicate with Marshall Bravestarr. And you can see the reins are really decent shape, so they can be held by Bravestarr easily in his normal sort of grip, and they just connect to that headpiece, just like you would on a normal horse. If I turn it around, you can see it's the same on the other side, and we can follow the reins to Marshall Bravestarr's hand, and that shows you how he holds it. And next we have the stirrups. Again, it all connects really nicely. So on the saddle, you've got this connection here. The stirrups have got the foot piece, which Marshall Bravestarr's foot just goes into, and then they connect into the other part. So it's sort of two pieces that then connect into the saddle. And you can see the shape there. If I move it, you can see how it clips onto his foot really easily. I'll turn 3030 around, and you can see it's exactly the same on the other side with the stirrups. I'll talk about the other accessory holders for later in the video, but you can see everything is connected really nicely to the saddle and the headgear. If I turn him over, you can see how the saddle connects on the bottom part. So it all connects up really, really well. On the left side of the saddle, you've got a hook here. I can assume that hook's for Bravestarr's rifle, but it might be it's for other things. You can fit other accessories, etc. on there. You've got the saddlebags that clip on. You've got these little holes at the back of the harness, and they just simply, the saddlebags just clip into those little holes. I'll just give you a close-up of the saddlebags. If I open the saddlebags, that's what it looks like. They've also got a bit of a hole in them, so not ideal, but you can still put some carrium and little bits in there. So you've got the two saddlebags there that are exactly the same, and they both clip into the holes on the back of the saddle there. The plastic is really quite hard wearing, but I'm really loath to put those on too much, just because I'm worried that it will break it. There's another part on the other side that I'll show you, which is I'm quite concerned that could break over time. You've got this other section for storage, where you can put various other weapons and parts you can get with the Bravestarr sets. If I turn him round, you can see that on this side he's got this weapons holder. His gun fits in there really nicely. This part just fits into a hole in the saddle, and that's where you connect it on. As you can see, there's this hole in the saddle there, and this is where his gun holder is. If I turn it around, you can see that this circular bit with the pegs on it fits into that hole in the saddle. It's a hard wearing plastic, but if you keep putting that in, it's going to split it and damage it, so I haven't put that on too many times. His bazooka style sort of weapon fits in there quite nicely, as you can see, but only if you take it apart. The bazooka comes in two parts, as you can see here. If I put the other part on, it doesn't quite fit in there okay. It might be that bazooka, the larger part, this bit here, fits in that bit there. That might be the idea. The bazooka itself looks like this, and I'll quickly put it together so you can see what it looks like fully formed. And that's 3030's bazooka. I put it next to Bravestarr's weapons to give you an idea of the size. Some good detail on it. It's a shame it's not like the silver colour like in the cartoons, because it was quite a fearsome weapon that he had, but you get the idea. Taking off the head harness, I'll just show you 3030's face. You can see he's got that sort of gritted teeth look that he always had when he got a bit mad. Some nice detail in the neck, sort of showing some robot panelling, I guess, there. You've also got the mane that sort of goes at the back of his head. His head does move forward, like so, but it doesn't move any sort of sideways or anything like that. It helps, obviously, when you transform him, he needs to stand, so you'll have to move his head up to make it work properly. You have got movement on the face as well, so you can move his head up and down, but no sort of sideways articulation. At the back, you've got his little tail, which can be used to help him stand. That's on a hinge, hollow inside, but that can be sort of moved up and down. This one's quite stiff, that's quite good. The legs themselves are hinged as well. The front legs, you can see, they have the main hinge at the top, and then they hinge down from the middle bit as well. The hands at the front, you can see there's holes to put his gun in, and they're also on hinges. The rear legs, same again, just the 3 hinges. And underneath 3030, he's got this little compartment, which when I do this, you can see opens up. You can fit some cerium in there. I guess that's kind of the idea. A bit of a strange one, but there you go. You can cover the cerium, then open it up and let it drop out. And now I will transform him for you. Okay, so this is 3030 now transformed into his human form. I mean, you can see how tall he looks compared to Bravestarr, who he's stood next to. I love the way he looks as a horse, but when you transform him and stand him on his hind legs, he just looks a little bit too big. He holds the bazooka, which is great. You can hold it in either hand. There's a hole for where the bazooka fits in both hands, but my view is it just doesn't look great. But I guess you can't have it both ways, and it would have been very difficult to create a horse toy that transformed and sort of remained a similar size to how he was in the cartoon. In the cartoon, he looked a little bit bigger than Bravestarr, but not almost twice his height. But I'll zoom in and give you guys a look so you can have a close-up look at what he looks like. You can see at the back as well, the tail has been pushed up, and that acts as a tripod, just holding him in place so he can stand. You'd really struggle to get him to stand on those 2 legs on his own, because you can just see it just wouldn't balance out correctly. And very quickly you can see that's the part of the plastic in the gun that connects to the holes that in his 2 fists there that you can see. And you simply connect that bit into the hole for him to hold the gun. And now while I've got him out, I thought I'd do a quick review of Bravestarr himself as well. These are really good toys, really detailed, and they do look really good, just like the cartoon, until you stand 30-30 up. Bravestarr came with some cerium and 2 rifles, and he also came with a removable hat. The hat's got some detail on it, got the nice badge on the front, sort of a rubbery material, so it moves about. So in front you have Bravestarr's accessories. You've got his hat, you've got some cerium, you've got the vest that you can put onto him, and you've got the 2 weapons, the rifle and side pistol. Without the vest, Bravestarr looks a little bit different. I'll show you. He's just got this sort of plain shirt on that looks pretty ordinary. And if I turn Bravestarr around, I'll show you what he looks like from the other side. and there you can see the back switch, which lifts his arm up in a draw motion, just like in the old Wild West. The Bravestarr figure himself is pretty detailed. He's got articulation in the elbows and in the shoulders, and it's the same on this side. When I press the button on the back, his arm raises like that in a draw motion. I'll put the gun in his hand in a minute so you can have a look. And it comes from where the gun is actually placed, so it looks quite realistic. He's also got articulation in the knees, and you can move his sort of legs by the hips as well. He came with this nice little holder here at the top of the right leg where you can put his sort of pistol. On the back it says 1986 filmation, made in Mexico. I'll now put his vest and his pistol on so you can see how it works. So you can see on that side clip where the pistol goes, you just clip the pistol in like that and it stays in place like that. So he looks quite good, sort of harnessed up. The hat just slips on the top like that and sits nicely, so he does look pretty good with the with his sidearm ready to go, with hat on, etc. Proper cowboy. If I put the blaster in his hand, or pistol in his hand, I'll show you how the action works. By pressing the button on his back, he raises the gun in a draw motion, so you can have some quick draws with Tex Hex. He's able to hold the rifle like so as well. There's good sort of articulation in the hands, which make it quite easy for him to hold different weapons and accessories, so that looks quite good like that. The articulation works with the rifle, but obviously not as good. You need to sort of line it up a bit better. And another nice touch with the Bravestarr figure and his vest is you can see this little clip on the gun. On the back of his vest you can just clip his rifle into a little hole there, so he can walk around with the rifle on his back, which is, I think, is a really nice detail. And as you can see there, he's got his pistol in his side and he's got his rifle on his back and he's all ready to go. The carry-on was also designed quite well because he could hold the carry-on parts as well as the other figures could. So yeah, nice design there. And again, you can press the button and he can hand the carry-on to somebody, I guess. So another nice little sort of detail there. So I hope you like my tour review of 3030 and Bravestarr. They look brilliant. When he's riding 3030 as a horse, they do look absolutely great, just like in the cartoon. I think they look awesome. Like I've said, when 3030 stands up and takes human form, I don't think he looks so good, but still a really good toy with lots and lots of detail, so very nice. I'll do another review of Tex Hex and add him as well, so you can have a look at him as well if you so wish. Please subscribe to us, check us out on Instagram, LexusToyLoft12, and have a look at our eBay store where we sell lots of Bravestarr toys and loads of other vintage toys. Hope you enjoy this, and please come again. Thanks, bye. Oh, and I may have worked out what that hidden compartment is at the bottom of 3030. If you lift his tail, like horses do in the wild, and then you do this, kind of looks like he's pooping carrion.